Welcome to kcheebplays, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Let's get started. Ulyov and Clarence were in a design meeting for the new CO area. Try as they might, they couldn't figure out how to make it work. In frustrations, Clarence said, "I don't know how they expect us to wedge this all in there. We're boxed in by the rail line." Ulyov replied, "I know, Clarence. I keep coming back to that. The most efficient way to ensure the storages have enough materials for the ground and helicopter COs is feed them directly from the rail line. I just don't see that happening here. There's barely enough space for the storages and the COs themselves." Ulyov stood up from the table and said, "Clarence, why don't we break for lunch and see if we can get some inspiration?" Just as Clarence was about to agree, a knock came at the door. Ludmila eased the door open and popped her head in. "You two thinking about lunch, or are you ordering in again?" Ulyov smiled and said, "I was just going to come and get you, my dear. Where should we go?" Ludmila walked the rest of the way into the meeting room and looked over Ulyov's shoulder. "What's all this?" she asked. Clarence dejectedly said, "The plans for the new CO area. Not going so well, as you can see." "What's the problem?" she asked. "You've both been around enough COs to know your way around them." Ulyov came back to the table and said, "There's just not enough space." Ludmila looked back at the plans and shook her head. "What do you mean? You've not even touched the area south of the rail line. There's plenty of space there." Clarence replied, "Yeah, but we have to feed our storages directly from the rail line. Otherwise, we run the risk of running out of materials." Ludmila chuckled. "Ulyov, how many times have you boasted about our distribution offices? Are you telling me they won't be able to keep up?" Ulyov started to reply, then picked up his phone, dialed his assistant, and asked him to order lunch in for 3. They spent the rest of the day and a good part of the next working out the details of the new CO area. Finally, they were happy with what they'd produced. Ulyov stood, rolled up the plans, and said, "Right, off to see Christoph and Kailinka. A change this large is going to need their approval. You two coming?" Christoph and Kailinka were impressed by the design. Christoph even said, "Well done, an interesting solution to a difficult problem. Good stuff, Ulyov." Ulyov turned to Christoph and said, "It was Ludmila that got the ball rolling. She pointed out where we weren't using all the space we could. Once we got our heads around that, things started to happen. But it really gelled when I remembered an exchange student I was friends with in college. His nickname was Copty. He's an absolute wealth of information when it comes to helicopters. I called him up and we chatted for about an hour. We pulled half our plans apart, redid them using the principles he talked about. Not quite on the scale he wanted, but it's a reasonable facsimile." Kailinka chimed in, "What are we standing around here for? I think we have some plans to put into action." "Hi, Cheeb here. Well, things look a little different than when I left them from episode 17. Like I said, there's a little bit of inspiration in coming over to the south side, at least that's what I'm calling south, of the rail line, and then putting all the drop-off for all the materials over here. And then we've got this rather large distribution office that's going to be responsible for running all the materials into all the bays over here for everything that we need to make a functioning CO area. We've got our road gravel pickup, the asphalt plant, the concrete plant. Got a storage here for mechanical and electrical components, and then this is the open storage down here for all the other goods, the steel, bricks, prefabs, and boards. I came up with something similar to this, but not quite as elaborate and as friendly to the helicopters in my first go-round. And one of the guys on Uliki's Discord, his nickname is Copty. I hit him up with it because I know he knows just so much about helicopters in general, but how they're used in the game. And he gave me some really, really good, interesting ideas and concepts to use. You'll see that there's 3 helicopter COs up here. 2 of them will be responsible for basically the materials, and then this one that has the extra helicopter landing pads, that's going to be responsible for ferrying people around, and they'll be filled with helicopters, and then some of the other work that they'll be responsible for is because we don't use that much in the way of mechanical and electrical components, delivering that. These two COs will be responsible for delivering the rest of those materials. And if you notice, interesting, they don't have extra pads, which is something that I've built for all of mine. It's like more helicopters is better, right? Well, not necessarily the case. When only 3 of them can land at a time at a specific facility, you're going to have others waiting in the air, burning fuel and just not being efficient. So for 2 helicopter COs for each of your facilities, there's 2, in this case, there's two landing pads for each of them. For the asphalt, concrete, gravel. These 2 are fed from this gravel storage. We only need 1 for the mechanical electrical components. There's 3, so there's just the 1 there. And then again, for the steel and all the rest of it, there's 2 landing pads that they'll each be assigned to pick their materials up. So there should be nobody hovering, waiting for a spot to land to go take things, which is not wasting fuel. And if the new update, I'm not sure when it'll be released, but when the new update comes out, fuel's going to be an even more precious and hard to come by commodity. So just quickly run through the rest of the CO layout. These are standard. Well, I shouldn't say standard. They're ground-based CO offices or construction offices. They got 20 slots each of them. I originally had 4 of them along here, but again, space and whatnot was more important to get the helicopter set up properly, as Copty pointed me to. And in fact, he wouldn't in his most of his playthroughs, once he gets to the helicopter stage, he doesn't even bother with the ground-based ones. It's all helicopter stuff. That's how much he's into the helicopters. So at any rate, what I ended up doing was replacing the other 2 with 2 more ground-based COs. This one's going to be I'm going to try to set these up similar to the way Leaky sets his up. I think it's an interesting concept. I'll probably end up having to hit him up for exactly what what equipment he uses for each of them, but this is going to be the one that's going to be what he calls the footpath office, and it's going to have the dumpers and the buses in it. This is basically an area that I'm going to have people ferried in until we get the city up the hill built, ferried in by helicopter from at least 1 city, probably 2, just to make sure we've got enough people for construction once this area is all up and running, as well as people to man both the asphalt and concrete plants. So that's the plan. And then I'll probably have 2 routes set up here. One where it's a drop off so the helicopters can pick up. The other one will be a transfer where they'll transfer over to here, so the footpath office can pick people up and take them to where they need to go to make for construction. So that's going to be up here. I'm still on pause. I'll flip it on here shortly. I just kind of wanted to go through this and then get back to business building the other stuff there. So I just thought I'd give you a quick look at what's been done here. Kind of an interesting layout with this. This is some of my conversations with Dennis on how to have I think he called it a roll in and out style, where this is one directional. They go down, drop off, and then roll out. Maybe I got a little carried away with tunnels. I'm not sure. I kind of like this solution. Originally, this main line went down to the same level here, and then came back up the hill. And I was kind of fighting with myself in terms of not wanting to have a level crossing. So originally I was thinking about going up and over with the road, but they're just, again, there's a little bit of a space constraint. And the more I looked at the lay of the land and everything, from this level here to go down and then back up is really a waste in terms of trains and trying to keep their speed up, and how trains would train, rail lines would be built in the real world. I'm not sure that they would move this much dirt to make that happen, but I did, and I kind of sort of talked myself into, well, all the dirt that we took out here, we just replaced in here and built it up, and that facilitated making the rail bridge or tunnel and road tunnel much easier. Obviously, when there's a hill there, it's easier to tunnel. So anyways, that worked out well. The other thing that I did was run this line over to another storage here that feeds everything that needs gravel. So that was originally what I was going to do was end up trucking it. I just thought to myself, there's no way that's going to keep up. Not a chance. So I went with the mega long conveyor belt. I don't think it's completely unreasonable. It's a little bit over the top, but we'll see. Should work out pretty well. This outside one here is the fuel and bitumen drop off. So these tanks you can see underground are got a couple of forwarding stations to another tank here. 750 tons back here, 750 here, and then another 750 ton tank up top, and then direct feed for all of the helicopters. I hope I've sized that properly, or at least reasonably. That's 2,250 tons total available once it's all filled up. So I would hope that's enough to keep helicopters in the air. If it's not, then I'll have to revisit, but hopefully I don't have to go that route. So anyways, that's the new CO area. We got to get this bridge built, get the COs, get some other stuff built back there. Need to continue on with my plans for having the having the rail line reworked. That's still a thing. They're still maybe not quite halfway through the whole rework there. Some decisions are going to have to be made on how we're going to get rail into a couple of the areas. I got a couple of ideas. Might work, maybe not, but at any rate, we should get on with the rest of this episode. One of the things, start this up now, that I've been a little bit neglectful of is some of the comments that I get from you guys. Love interacting with you. Great fun for me. I like seeing everyone's perspective on things and how they set things up, because that's how I learn. I learn from people that are good at the things that they do, and I take their ideas and try to implement them and use them the way that works for me. So one of the things that Kaya said to me was the Holden station would look good with an airplane road underneath it. So I can't say that I've used the airplane road much, so you might have to bear with me a little bit as I try to make this happen, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. The decorative payment, airplane road. Okay. So I'm just going to try this out and see how. Wouldn't mind it being somewhat in line with everything there. I think that's probably reasonable. Not exactly in line with the give that a shot. Second one up there, just to fill in the gap. To go to the other side. make that all come together. I don't know if you've played around with these textures much. It was actually Kaya that informed me originally on she was using it in a lot of the things that she does. Her decorating and design skills are, in my opinion, second to none. I'm I'm passable at best. So when she says something is going to look good, I take that as make it happen because it's going to look good. So at any rate, I'm gonna try to finish this area off and see how it all comes out. I know we can decorate under here, right under the what will look like it's under the rail line. It does look good. I shouldn't say that with a surprised tone in my voice, should I? Good there, and I think we need something across the front of this. Hopefully I get that close to where I need it to be. Ish. Works pretty well. Cool. Like that. I like that. I'll probably replace some trees. Hopefully I can replace some trees here. I do like having a little bit of separation there between the the busier places and some of the things that sure if we'd have the council would approve of that kind of stuff, but being that close is really what I was trying to get to. I don't want to get it too close to the rail lines, but I think having them here as a bit of a buffer is a good idea. And I think the trees themselves just kind of add to this really is a city versus just an area that's bunked down to state our design and logistics passions. I could actually see a few bushes in this area too. I won't get too crazy with it. Okay. And the other situation, or it's not situation, but the other comments that were made were, just gonna skip away for a quick second here, was by Kaya, and I'm gonna try to, sorry, I'm just scrolling back up here to where they were talking about the percentage in the shopping malls. Yeah, so Kaya uses 80, 15, and 5 for food, electronics, and clothes. And Captain Zlom says that I think he uses 70, 20, and 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my Adzol the way Kaya sets hers up. She goes 80, 15, and 5. 5. Well, that's the first one. They'll get through that. Yeah, and that definitely, food is used a lot more, and that could end up cutting down on some of the trips that they have to make for them. So yeah, they'll definitely help out. It's funny that I just left them a third, but it is what it is, right? Sometimes you just get to 80, 15, and 5. Yeah. Focused on get it in and get it working, and ignore that. Ignore the things that you should be doing. So Captain Islam, I'm going to set the Yamnov storages, if I can find the store, there it is. I'm going to set them up the way, and then we'll just sort of have a little bit of a look later on and see how things are out. They're not drastically different, so I'm not expecting there to be a huge difference in the way the two cities, have stuff delivered and not delivered, or how many trips are made. It was 70, 20, and 10. But you never know. I've been surprised by this game more than once. So, and I think I noticed some shoppers standing out front. That's not cool, but probably a small blip. So there's 70, 20, and 10. That's Kiamnov. And we've got one more city, Bramsky, that has two stores. Don't have as much of an issue. This is laid out ish. Great. The percentages here don't really matter. It's really more whatever's in this warehouse, and this warehouse just typically never seems to be out of anything, but this one could definitely benefit from that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use. I'm going to go with Kaya's 80, 15, and 5. That's right. Mix them up. 80, 15, and 5. Just because Kailinka and Christoph are a thing. So this is Christoph City. I'm sure he would defer to Kailinka in this case. So at any rate, we'll see what happens there. And I just noticed that we had a couple of shoppers sitting out front there as well. Not here, but definitely here. Interesting. Anyway, so I've got that. I'll come back and have a look at the end of the episode and see where we're at. Something else that I need to pay attention to is our construction. We need to keep constructing. So these two bus stations for the bus experiment, I'm gonna have to get those going before I commit to doing away with the passenger station here. I wanna try this again. I'll probably end up having to pick Dennis's brain at some point to make sure that the ideas that he's trying to get me to use are understood by me, so I'm not shooting myself in the foot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's no harm, no foul. I'm open to it. As I said, I love to learn from people who know what they're talking about, and just it's all part of the learning process. So that's where I'm at with that. So all right. Next situation that I want to get going as well is get the road bridges going here. Get those built, and we need to get some other stuff done by our helicopter construction offices. So I'm going to continue on with our electricity right now, and all that stuff going. These up here, all of the fuel and that can wait. We're not going to be building the airport for a bit, nor the port, so I'm Not too concerned with that at this point, just because I know it will be coming. It's just I want to try to get a little bit more of this this work done and done, because it's been it's been a few episodes since it's been planned out, and it is somewhat taking shape now, but it's still a ways away. So I generally start with the infrastructure type things first, and then go to the actual buildings themselves. And remember, we're going to be we're going to be moving all of our workers in by train, and then having them go to the places that they need to go to make all this work. So it's going to be an interesting little experiment. Hopefully it works out. May end up having to build some houses somewhere to. I would prefer not to have to do that, just from the perspective of we got a lot of other infrastructure that we're going to end up having to bring in if that's the case. So I just don't really want to deal with that if I don't have to here. So we'll cross that bridge if we get to it, and deal with it that way. So okay, helicopters on their way, perfect. Going to let them continue building that. Keeping an eye on our percentages. Make sure that I don't lose something again. The other thing that was noticed was the fact that we didn't build some heating in. I don't know if you watch Uliki's his Mod Mondays, but this I think it was this week, he had a very interesting one for heating. It was electrical heating. I thought, man, that's perfect for this application. It's perfect because what that allows me to do is keep the number of workers down. It'll do 140 gigajoules of heat. I think if I'm remembering correctly, there's no pollution. So having 140 gigajoules of heat, I'm thinking, let me see here. I'm thinking, and that gets dangerous when I do that. So these doesn't give me the thought. Interesting. I'm not. The water tank's 300 cubic meters. Just trying to. Sorry, I'm trying to reason, my head out about how in this kind of an area I would likely have 2 of these heat exchangers to cover, the things that need to be covered. Obviously, the airport doesn't need coverage there. But I would probably have one on this side and one on this side. So now, what is this? What is this going to cover? 100. Do I need to? I don't know. None of these down here. I think these are seasonal, so they're not going to need heat. And I've only got one more connection available from there, so interesting. And if this doesn't have pollution, like it doesn't show it on here, if this doesn't have pollution, you could plunk it down right in the middle here. Probably not the the most attractive thing that you're going to want to see. But interesting. Are we up for another experiment? Another experiment. Where would we put this? 4 hotels. So now I'm trying to think of what would be the best place to put these. Put this. And probably want that facing this way for power. Let's see how we looking here. Just for trying to get it all squared up. 2-2. Particularly want it in the way of the path from the rail station. I think this is probably as good a spot as any for it. We can put trees around it to hide it so that tourists aren't looking at a heating plant. And we'll go with underground. Well, I best check to see how much power it needs. Heating, yes. 40 megawatt hours. So you divide that by 60 for megawatts, is that right? So it's less than. I think the large underground one is going to be more than enough. Unless I don't know what I don't know. Now, do you take that one up, or do you build a switch? If you want to leave this open for potential in the future, you would build a switch there. But no, we have another. We can deal with it. I can if we go to these ones we got. I can peel another one off if I really have to here. So I'm gonna live fast and die young. Although I'm not young anymore, so some other infrastructure. Okay, if I can get this one out here, I have to go down. Yeah, I gotta go down to get it to come this way. Yeah, we don't really need that to be. Like that. Good. Get our helicopters on this one as well. And I think I'm gonna start running some more, connecting up some more of the. Oh, it's already connected. The roads. I think I'm running roads down there. This one will need a road because I believe that's a cafe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, restaurant. And side. Okay, there's definitely some pieces here that the helicopter CO can't get to. That's as much a planning function as anything, right? Get there, can't get there, should be able to get this one. Okay. Seeing some progress. It's cool. Just like to see that. Now, some footpaths. Get a few of these other things connected up. I think my plan here was to bring that through this way. If memory serves, and it may not. connect, okay? Fine, be like that. Stop there, I can get a node. So that's not going to get through there. It'll be a little unfortunate for this side, isn't it? Connect these. This little twist in. I'm just going to have to nip that back a little. Waste a little gravel. Okay, so that's all road-based construction. That's going to need to deal with that one. Be built at some point. Yeah, won't be able to get through there. but let's see, how do we want to do this one? In the way of options. Let's see. Definitely want this up here. Won't need one between those two. Or will I? I think I will, honestly. It's going to have to come down. I'm going to want... Yeah, there's nothing off the back for that. The only entrance is off this side, so to get people transferring from the train station to this hotel. Let's see. Kind of bumbling, rambling. Yeah, okay, that will connect there. I want to leave some space for, and I don't want to take this in behind. This trick here as well. Go there. It's going to be easily walkable, so it's just a matter of trying to make it reasonable looking, somewhat resortish. This is where I need Kaya to help me get in touch with my artistic side. So that, there we go. It should work well for getting people in. I connect this off of there. I don't know what this is going to look like. I connect it there. Yeah, should be easily walkable from there all the way down. I have to fart around with trying to get another connection off there. Trying to make things as, like I said, as walkable as possible. They can get to everywhere that they want to get to. And I don't know if you've been to many of those all-inclusive resorts or the resort-style places, and the way that they lay things out, all the paths take you somewhere, right? Well, isn't that a silly thing to say? Yeah, paths, they take you places. Yeah, sure. Okay. Sorry. That's funny. Take you to places that they want you to be. So if you down to the seashore, to the pier, go spend a little money riding the rides that are out there. Those kind of things. So that's what I was meaning, man. Brain. Okay. connects there. That's already got a connection. Don't mind having these flared like that. I don't know why I think that looks good, but I think it does. That connected in here. This can come up. Oh, really? Building? Right there. Oh, yeah, that works. There. Was planning on having this come through and up, and kind of a dual walkway down here, one on either side, something like this. So you've got two sort of not exactly promenades, but that kind of an idea. I think somewhere. Start from here in this range. Here we are. Disconnect up. Imagine my surprise. All right. Starting to get places now. I think we need either one of those two connected if they're going to be walking down this way. Way it's going to go, right? I want to leave this area open. Not sure what exactly I want to put in there, but definitely going to be putting something in there. I think that makes a bit of sense there, doesn't it? And just to make the walk a little bit. So, yeah, that works. Okay. Don't know that I need a path there, so I think we're. I didn't connect this one up. Why did I not do that? This doesn't have a node, so that's not going to cooperate. And this coming off of there, I don't know if that's, might be able to peel this back. Get a connection? Yep, okay, works. That's there. Okay, we commit to this, and then them helicopters bringing gravel. We will get there with the tourist area at some point, I'm pretty sure. I think we're getting to fit, hey? Critical mass kinda situation with this now, where we're getting the infrastructure in place. Interesting, it won't build some of those like that. That one won't cooperate either. Okay, I think I've got all of that stuff done, so I think it's probably enough for the time being in the tourism area. See how much these guys have a long ways to go. They're actually done not too bad for the first bit of it. It's a lot of work hours after that. Probably get the helicopter crews on that to begin with. And, yeah, I can do some one-way stuff here now. That's one way to there already. I think that's as far as I can go in this go round. And by go round, I mean road. Whoops, dummy. going to be really hard for them to get back. You put it in that direction. There we go. That makes more sense, yeah, because I think that's the last, excuse me, crossover that I've got. Oh, and our temporary road can go now too, because they're all built up here. Need to have both these bi-directional, because they can't they can't cross over. They could have crossed over there, but that's not something that's going to stay, so I don't know that there's a huge advantage in making that one way at this point. Okay, so back to some rail fun. Now, for this, and this all seems to be working pretty well. I don't think anybody's having, you've got more meat than we know what to do with. We're a little bit of trouble, so we're probably getting close to wanting to build this, which means we're going to need more people. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But what does definitely need to happen is figuring out this area, and this whole thing here hinges on getting a rail line to this train station, and then having a bypass that will allow more trains to get to this train station. I had all kinds of interesting ideas, thoughts. Really want to get this off of this rail yard, the rail, passenger rail, for the same reasons that we took this out. And speaking of which, yeah, let me finish my thought here, and then I got to talk about this a little bit. I mean, we're going to do the bus experiment, but there's another option to run this off here. I can talk about that in a second. I've got about 15 minutes left of me yammering on. So basically at this point, what I think we might be able to do is to turn this up this direction and then go through here and then run it parallel. Now, ideally, what would happen is direct line, run this up through here and connect up. But there's just not a hope unless I, rework all of this stuff in the center. And I'm not sure how realistic that's going to be. I mean, I'll be able to take it somewhat. Some of these things aren't particularly critical in terms of the infrastructure that's needed. I mean, this is a kindergarten. We can get kindergartens in place somewhere else, even as a temporary measure. But the real issue is I don't want to touch these. I don't want to take, I don't really even want to take one of them out. To make this somewhat realistic, I mean, we'd also have to take this small clinic out to get it to come straight down here. And then, if I don't move this one, it would have to curve through there, come through here. Excuse me. If this is moved somewhere else, then I'd have to, come across, and then I come down, and there is some terrain that we could work with here. I don't know that I can get this high enough up to make it even close to the same height as this. I think the best I could hope for here would be to get it about that level. Yeah, it's possible that we could use this truss bridge. That makes, doing the bendy things nice or easy at any rate. But this is so much work. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And it also takes a lot of would turn this into a two-way, so that and I've had nothing but problems when I've had trains coming from two directions, reserving spots, blocking each other. Not, anyways, I've had issues, and I've never been able to resolve them, so I've always ended up having them as end stations or through stations where they just come through in one direction. How do you manage that, right? I don't know. That would mean that all of the trains from this station could only go this direction down here. Which isn't the end of the world. All I'd have to do is shift the other ones over to this one. They're both identical, and I don't think there's an inordinate amount. We're getting close. There's 7 trains here, and this one has 6 trains. And this line isn't even active, honestly. This only got 4 trains on it. So I don't think it's that hard a thing to manage and get done. If I wanted to make it come this direction, and I think that's a good idea to make it go that direction. It's just the amount of infrastructure that has to be moved and taken care of is not inconsequential. I mean, it took me basically 2 episodes to do this, just to build this, and that was without moving anything except for, I think, 2 pieces of electrical infrastructure. The rest of it was just basically plan and build rail. I didn't have to move any buildings, so doing the rest of that, I'm not going to want to run the rail through until I've got, these buildings planned, the replacement for the sports hall. Plus, it's fairly central there. I kind of like the idea that it's central. It's walking distance is basically everywhere in the city. If I move that over to here, or if I move it over here, now we've lost that ability to get to any part of the city. So just about any part. This area up here isn't completely covered by all of that. So, but there is another sports facility up there. So this really is a good location for the sports here. I can't see even just sliding it over a little bit being a good solution, because I mean, we're fighting with footpaths. We're fighting with all of the other buildings. Do we move the other building over here? Do we move the hub? So many questions. It's not easy. Not easy. Maybe I wait until we have the metro. Maybe this is a good metro application. I can go underground, run a metro down here. Talk about a short trip. Really not that big a deal, honestly. I don't know. I just do not know. So, yeah. Ultimately, what's going to happen is this is going to peel off and connect up. So the main line will be along here, and this will just be basically turned into a rail yard once I can figure out what to do with the passenger stuff there. So can probably plan that, the building of that out right now. I'm gonna have to do some smoothing here to get excuse me, to get a, I don't really want to just follow this. I think it makes more sense to have it come off of here, and then see if I can what I can do for smoothing in here to make it a reasonably gentle slope up to that point. So I'm going to give that a try. It's not I have to get this kind of smoothed out a bit as well. That's going to be a little on the it's red, but I don't know. It doesn't look that bad. This is better, but it's not going to be close to that edge. The like that of the road. Finish your sentences, please, 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 please. What would be good is to try to get this coming straight. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm wanting to. Follow the road a little bit more. Not sure what this is going to look like. Too steep a descent. It's not the worst. Not great though either, is it? I don't know what else I can do there. Sort of ripping road out and replacing it to try to get that little knob out of there. Suppose the other option would be to not necessarily follow the road specifically, and then we can probably make that even a little more gentle. That actually looks a little bit better to me. Plus, it's nice and straight. I better go up here. Otherwise, I'm going to grab it and it'll drive me crazy that it's not lined up. Okay, we'll just follow this the way that one is laid out, and hopefully that comes together. Okay, it's an option. Nodes dealt with. Fire. Be covered. Hello, copy. Okay, I'm going to start construction on this. I should probably signal this. I'm going to need a crossover as well. We don't have one there, do we? No, we don't. Okay. First things first. Okay, now this will be the way in. Oh, I said I was going to start using chains. At least trying them out. I'm going to get rid of that and make this all one big block. Not a fan of having those short segments in there like that. I think we can get away with that. Fire extinguished, thank you very much. What we got here? Oil going down. Ooh. Okay. This one's signaled. This is out. This is out, so I'm going to move this junction here. Well, that. Here, actually, chain. See, bad habits. Well, I shouldn't say bad. Old habits. Chain in here. And block out. And a chain in here, right? Well, perhaps we just make this. Yeah, I think that's a better call. For the same reason that it was doing that on the other end. Okay. That committed. Cheaty. And then get these guys to work. Okay. So having this little, not really bypass, but having this run through here, and then having the junction come off of somewhere here that's going to feed this rail yard, gets rid of this whole as Dennis liked to call it, mess. And then then we should be able to get I guess they're going to be going out and about and around to get in there. Oh, done a good, an interesting thing. Anyway, making some progress. All right, stations are first one's done. Second one is well on its way. Should be here shortly. I don't know that I'm going to have enough time to manage that whole piece. I'm just going to go check on our cities to see how we're doing for food and clothes and electronics. Not a problem. Doesn't look like to me for that particular one. This one, yeah, the numbers are good. Watch the trucks a little bit and see. I mean, one sitting there, that's telling me that he takes off as soon as I start talking to him. Oh yeah, he's picking up, that's why. But one sitting in the CO or the DO is a good thing. It means, you don't want all of them sitting there, because you know that you've either overpopulated it with trucks or they don't have enough to do. But if there's only ever or very seldom more than one truck sitting there waiting, you've probably done a reasonable job of laying out what they're responsible for. So wonder how long he's going to sit there for. But this is, I don't remember. Yeah. So he sits there for a bit before an order comes in. So they're definitely not overworked, and there's probably a little bit less traffic on the streets, which is not a bad thing. Come down and have a look at Miadzol and see how things are shaking here. Got all the stuff we need. Yeah, and they're just bringing this down to there, so they'll have a little bit longer time for having food versus having the smaller amounts in there. I think that's definitely a good call. Thank you both for letting me know about my oversight. It's appreciated, and probably end up with fewer issues in all of the cities in terms of the food being available for everyone all the time. Same scenario here. Looking good. Looking very good. Anyways. Sorry, Dennis, I said it again. I said it twice. Yeah, we got to get this one bypass going, and then I have to get my head around how I'm gonna rework the rail line. So I just run it along here, and then work my way through, split this off, come down. I think I have to do that anyways, because the plan here is to get rid of this and then run that around the back. So it's in out, to allow access to this, and that allows me to split this off and run it straight up. And if I do that, that will separate the passenger from the I keep wanting to call it goods, materials delivery. And well, I'm not really seeing much in the way of blocking here. It's gonna get busier once we get materials going further out at the new CO area. So I know that that's definitely something that needs to happen. Then the next piece of that whole thing is running this down side. So the new passenger line will allow me to tee off and run a second line in parallel with this, and just come down and in. And I think that's probably, from my perspective, the least path of resistance for changing a lot. I've got enough other construction projects on the go that's probably going to end up being what happens there. So anyways, anyway, that's going to be a thing. So making progress here. We're getting things dealt with. The bridge across is getting materials delivered. Got a lot of concrete. That's a lot of trips for the boys. But they're out of their first stage, so onto the second. Won't be starting this. I could start the rail, and I probably should, but I didn't want to kind of overcommit, especially with some of the other stuff that's happening back there. So I'm gonna leave that here. Hope you enjoyed it. Got a little bit of a treat. My discussions with Poppy. He shared a bunch. He put together, it was awesome, some screenshots of an ultimate helicopter CO complex where there's no waiting for anyone, and there's more helicopters than you could ever conceive of having in any one CO. But it's an absolute thing of beauty. And at one point, I'm not sure if it'll be this playthrough or my next playthrough, I would very much like to put it into action because it just is so good. So I'll have 3 images up. I'll try to leave them up at the end so that you can have a decent look at them, and we'll go from there. Anyway, thank you very much for sticking it out with me to here, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.